1051 FM.
A hype man extraordinaire in the studio with me. How you doing, Manolo?
What's going on, Lagos City FM? What's going on?
It's good to have you back.
Egbon K, what's going on? You know that's what I call you. I know you don't want to. You don't want me to say Egbon. Oh, you're my Egbon.
No, they know, but I make it look good. I don't have just Manolo in the building. I also have Kuva Davies in the studio. How you doing, Kuva?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Kuva Davies on the MIC one time.
Is that your hype man name?
Yeah, that's the brand name.
Where you from?
I'm from Delta State.
Delta State. Manolo, where are you from?
I'm from Benin.
The thing about Manolo is, I think the first time I met you, the first time you came on the show, which was just I think Instagram did that thing that reminded us of. Remember I posted it? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which means you were here just over a year ago.
Yeah.
And
but we met. You know our history. We met. I told you the story of how we met. When I met you, when I was starstruck when I met you.
Whatever. and the thing is, there's something you did that day. And I think a lot of people still see that way. Until I met you, I thought hype men were noisemakers. I wasn't a fan of you guys. And apart from the fact that I felt you guys were noisy, because I just want to listen to music. I don't want you shouting. You know, and the hype man, Twix is a hype man.
Yeah,
he's also an upcoming hype man. You guys are everywhere. There's so much hype about hype men.
It's a growing industry.
You know, because you guys are like comedians. You've messed up the job for MCs. You understand?
Yeah.
You messed up. Because I get some MCing offers. And it's one of the reasons why you guys are comedians. It's one of the reasons why I went off. You know, let me just make my money in the background. And because nowadays you get an MC job and they say you are you going to hype? And I'm like, no, I'm not a hype man. And you get an MC job, they say like, are you going to crack jokes? I'm not a comedian. I'm not going to crack jokes. But the intelligence that day on the show, Manolo Spanky, I think it was one of my favorite interviews last year.
Thank you very much.
You know, you totally changed my mindset. You taught me things, and very few people can teach you stuff. You know, you taught me things. You taught me that Flavor Flav was a hype man. Yeah. Puff Daddy was a hype man. I never knew that, and I was just so excited about the idea of us doing this again. It's good to have you in the studio.
It's good to be back here. This is family. I appreciate you guys for real.
Kuva, I think Kuva has been in the news for more sensational stuff than his reputation as a hype man.
You can say that.
You grew up in Lagos?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. But you have very much of that Delta thing in you.
Is that what you think?
You know, it's what I hear about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You caught off as a scary character. When I saw you, I got a bit scared. Like, did I offend Manolo? Has he brought somebody?
Come on.
Kuva, your history as a hype man. How did you start off? When did you decide that, okay, this hype man thing might work and there's money in it now? We know Manolo is making a lot of money. I think you're a brand ambassador right now.
Yeah, for Guinness. Shout out to Guinness.
And whatever. Do your shout outs off air.
Well,
Do your shout outs off. They should sponsor the show, please. When did you decide that this hype man thing, I can do this? There's money here. This is my calling. How did you even discover at the start, like,
well,
this isn't me?
First, it didn't start with the intention of making money. You know, I did it because it was something I loved to do. First, it started for me with music. I had great love. I still do have great love for music, and that's where it started. You know, you start scribbling things on papers and thinking you're going to get into the rap lane and everything, you know. But at some point, I had to sit down because I studied mass communication. I'm a mass communication specialist, you know. So I had to sit down at some point. I'm like, it's not like not everybody can make it from music, you know, but we need to diversify, you know, hence why I ventured into being a hype man, you know, and it wasn't like I heard any other hype man do this stuff before I started.
So there's no hype man in Nigeria that you can say that this particular person influenced me into getting into the hyping game.
Sincerely, absolutely none. None. That's why I come with the original. You know, I consider myself an original because not everybody You know, I can't say like there's just this one person who definitely inspires me, aside from my man here, Manolo.
I was about to. I was going there.
No, my man Manolo. I mean, he's been doing it for time, you know, and I still stand to my word to say that I never heard anybody, you know, do their thing before I even started my own thing.
Okay.
You know, but along the line, I heard about Manolo and I thought to check him out. And trust me, he was doing really good. Fashion on point, hair on point, appearance was good, you know. He was.
I'm very sensitive when people talk about hair. Continue.
Well,
I have a receding point.
Well, as you can see,
Okay,
we
good.
don't have a
Even
problem.
yours is receding.
It's going back.
Even yours is receding. You were saying.
Time will tell.
But I guess some other artists who are on that level already have found solutions. So we just join up with them.
Okay. I see what you did there. Let's get back to you. So yourself and Manolo, because I ran into Manolo at YC's album listening.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, let's do this again. And he also seemed excited. And I told him that I wanted to do like 2-3 hype men at the same time, because I don't think the industry gives you guys as much props as you guys deserve, because you have worked for it. And he was excited talking about you, and he's a very real person.
Absolutely.
He's a very real person, and he was okay to say things on air. You understand? He said some things on the show, and I'm like, I like this, because that's the type of OAP I am. I'm not much of a butt kisser. I really don't care. If it doesn't affect my money, I don't, I say it as it is. And, he said good things about you. How did you guys meet?
Okay, first of all, I was doing my thing in another part of Africa, and I had a neighbor downstairs who said...
what part of Africa?
Republic of Benin.
Okay.
Just around the corner.
I think I was there for a week.
You were?
They have sex on the beach.
Yeah. Me, there's a lot more that goes on.
Yeah, I know. I'm not complaining.
Did you have any though?
No, I didn't. There's too much sand.
You sure?
Too much. Nah, I can't make sand. Sand and sex doesn't go.
Yeah, but after he was suggested to me by a neighbor of mine who lived downstairs, I looked him up, and again he was doing awesomely in Lagos already. So I thought to myself, well, that's somebody I could reckon with. That's somebody I could identify myself with. That's somebody that my brand can identify with, So when I got into Lagos, he was the first person I talked to, and I was like, yo, brother, what's up?
You called him up, or you messaged him on social media?
It was BBM at the time.
Okay.
It was BBM at the time. So I had to mention him on WhatsApp, on BBM first, and I was like, look, I'm coming to Lagos. I'm transitioning to Lagos, actually, and I need a heads up. So he was there. He was like a very strong support. He was more of a very strong support from the start.
So he never gave you an attitude or anything. He was totally with you.
Well, the thing is, the way the work works for us, right? It would pass across as an attitude, but it's not. Because we work all night and then we sleep all day. So at the night period when we're working, it's like somebody walking to the studio and trying to whisper to your ears right now. You shut the person down like real quick.
Yeah, some people are calling me, and it irritates me. I'm on air.
It's this for you is as serious as any other occupation. That's how serious we take our occupation as well. So when we're trying to do, or when we try to project what we need to do at the time, especially when we are paid for it, we can't let any students go untouched. We need to hit every angle. We need to hit every note. We need to do everything right.
That's sexual. Hitting every angle.
Well, you could take it as that though.
Very, very. Kuva Davies in the building. Manolo.
What's up?
Because we're going to get to issues that between last year when you came on the show and now. What has changed about Manolo Spanky? We know you have much more money. You have much more money. What has changed about you? What you had a musical project going on then. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything since then. What happened?
Yeah, but so first of all, I want to thank God, that I'm alive from last year to this year, because what we go through in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. To be alive in Nigeria with all these obstacles,
especially when we look the way we do.
Yeah, when
everybody wants to kill you. SARS.
So it's God is great. First of all, I've been working. As in, when I say working, I've been doing a lot of work in terms of hyping, hosting, and that's what I put my focus on. So last time we spoke about music, and I was working on projects, and I have a bunch of music that I've worked on with artists. YC is on there.
But you guys a bit on the close side, aren't you?
Yeah, yes, that's my guy.
Okay.
So that's a guy I'll support for the rest of my life because I like the guy. You understand? So so he's done his own. He's the first person he called. He said, you know what, come through, let's knock this thing out. If you need another one, we'll knock it out as well. So we have YC, we have a couple of other artists that I will not reveal because we're not cleared out for that. But so for the music, it's a project that I'm working on, and you know how it is. I'll be sincere and real. Pushing music it comes with a lot of finances. So
you don't need to tell me.
So I don't want to. I want to be sure about my financing before because I'm not an artist, So I'm a hype man. So if I'm going to do music, I'm doing it for the fact that I love it. I've always loved it. So I just want to throw one or two things out there. So the finances have to be on check. The rollout has to be on check because I probably might not even make any money from it. It's just going to be visuals and more strength to, okay, this guy is doing this. This is how it is. Basically, so but for now, there's music. There's so much other stuff.
Let me ask you a question before we get to the other stuff.
Okay.
Last time when you came in and we talked about the whole music thing, you talked about how the fact that a lot of artists are not real. And
we still have them hanging around.
And now that because you are on a level that they're not hanging around. They're everywhere around us.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Artists are not your friends. Now between then and now, you were a brand then. You're a bigger brand then. Their attitude towards working with you, has it changed?
No, the thing
are they more eager to jump on board? Are they keeping their promises now?
The thing about it is, I've gotten to understand something. There's a transition for me personally, my personal life. So there's a journey that I'm on. I'm on a free spirit journey. So right now, I really, really don't see things like that. So in terms of, I put a blind eye. So I just go, do my thing. And anybody that connects with me, I connect with the person the same way. So for me, the same people, one thing is, there's a lot of sizing in the industry. And the sizing is where the problem is. So the sizing is still there. Some people still keep it real. And, it is what it is.
Kuva, what has been your any artist that you're close to, and what has been your own peculiar observation concerning the average Nigerian artist? Like, as in what is it that you like the most about the average Nigerian artist, and what irritates you the most? The average, and you can name names. I like names being named.
Well, I haven't had a personal experience necessarily with any of this artists, because look at me, you don't want to have a problem with me.
I know I don't want to have a problem with you.
I'm just saying, so I like to respect myself, and I like you to respect yourself as well, so I haven't had a personal experience with any of them, but I think everybody's just on their level. When you're perceived as upcoming, there's a certain way that you're being.
Do they still see you? Like the way they will view a Manolo is different from how they view you. Do they still perceive you as upcoming?
Well, the thing is, I'm not even bothered about that. I just do my work. I put in more work, more energy, more effort into what I'm doing, because instead of minding your business, I'd rather keep it at mine. And that's how I like to keep it.
Have you ever needed at any time? Have you ever needed an artist for anything at any time? And
Well, I work with a brand, Palazzo, and they run DNA as a club,
Okay.
So, and that's where artists usually affiliate with, like, every time on a regular, from the T.Y. Savage to the Davido to the Burna Boys to the biggest artists they have in Nigeria, from Naomi Campbell all the way. Any international act that has been to Nigeria within the past 2-3 years, they have definitely stepped foot into our vicinity.
Okay.
The services are awesome. The environment is
that's advertising. Can you, we're going to get back to the music. Don't forget DJ Crazy still in the studio. Let's go
Crazy.
10-15 minutes back to back, way back jams.
City 1051 FM.
City 1051 FM, classic right there. That is a classic, isn't it? That's Wizkid before he became Sinzu. The song is called Sunbury Bobo. I totally love that song. It messes me up anytime. DJ Crazy still has a music lockdown way back Wednesday edition of the Hip Hop Pride, and we partying different tonight. Don't forget, I have Kuva Davies and Manolo Spanky in the building. Hype man extraordinaire, and we're talking hyping and everything about it. Don't forget, follow on social media. This at City105 that's at City105 and I'm still your host with them, also coast to coast, the ladies toast, Kshow, the maestro, smartest mouth in the south. So good, you gotta call the name twice. Kuva Davies. I don't. I'm used to having people on the show that there's been some drama. They always. I can't stand that. We'll talk about that later. What happened between yourself and Wizkid at DNA? There was a little drama. Do you mind talking about it?
Absolutely.
What happened? What happened?
First though, I'm gonna say that it was a misconception between two people, not the brands, not the people they worked with, not anybody. It was just both of us that day, and it was an altercation that started between his bouncer,
Wizkid's bouncer.
Wizkid's bouncer, apparently something that happened the day before that I'm very much aware about, and
you want to tell us what happened?
Well, precisely what happened was the day before that day, my boss came home and he was like, all right, the Wizkid had some bills that he hadn't paid at the time, and of course that was true, because I was working in the club already before he actually came through that day, and that day was when Naomi Campbell came, I think Skepta was around, but they were in the Dom Perignon room up there. David was around, Tiwa was around, I think Cuppy was around. Yeah, I remember Cuppy was around too, But apparently they have been going back and forth about the payment of that bill, and this part is none of our business, neither is it my business, but I happen to be in I happen to work with the company that is related to this, so
you work for the company, so if Wizkid owes the company, Wizkid owes you money also.
No.
I mean, isn't that part of your responsibility?
The fact is, even his bouncer work with the company in the absence of Wizkid. Do you understand? Because Wiz is not like he has shows everywhere and around the world, but I'm not sure like he goes to everywhere with Wiz
at that time.
And whenever Wiz wasn't around, that was how I knew that Wiz wasn't around, because he was always around us at the time, because Wiz wouldn't have a show locally and he wouldn't be there with Wiz. So whenever he came to us and we were together at the club, which is every time we open Wednesdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Do you understand? He was always with us. So that day was another club's anniversary. I was on my suit, I like to look funky, fresh and fly.
I don't care. Continue.
So from there we went, the after party was at our club, which was phenomenal. It was absolutely great. So afterwards, I was going to have breakfast, when I heard him raising his voice at my boss, which is our boss. He gets both of us paid. And again, it's none of my business, so I just walked by. So when I was coming back from after having had breakfast, my boss called to my attention, like, come and explain to this guy what happened the previous day, which is what I was trying to explain to him, like, look, it's not the way you thought it was that he actually went down. First off, I wasn't even at the scene from yesterday, but the things that happened in my presence is what I can explain to you. So while I explained to him, he felt, first off, he had an altercation with my boss. He couldn't do nothing to him because this is his employer. So
but he also worked for Wizkid.
Yeah, he also worked for Wizkid.
So what was it a scenario where he had to pick at least from his own reckoning, the superior boss, like this boss is bigger than that?
Of course, that was exactly the case. That was exactly the case in that scenario. He had to take sides, which he did clearly, because he usually wouldn't raise his voice that much on a regular day. Neither would I act the way I did on a regular day. There usually is very zero drama every other time, but after I was called upon by my boss, right, I explained to him and it felt it was right for him to transfer aggression from him to somebody that he possibly could handle, and I was like, look, as you can see, I'm not involved in this, right? It's not me you're owing. I'm not going to get paid from the money that is going to be collected from the debt
Actually, you will get paid. Actually, you will get
Well,
paid.
literally, yeah.
Technically,
but
yeah.
in that moment, that wasn't what was on my mind. I was just trying to clear the air and let him know that, look, it's not about what was happening right now. I'm just here to just explain what I know. And after my explanations, it was like he just came at me like, look, Shay, I won't fight Amni. And that was exactly
What was
he
Wizkid
said.
in the club?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
No, at this time, they had been to his house and then he wasn't at home as well.
Okay.
So
he struck you first. He went at you first.
oh, definitely. He was like, "Shay, I won't fight on me." I was like, "Man, you want me to say I won't fight?" But we just talk. We talk. You feel me? Because at this time we had left being formal to being very informal because we were on the street. So it was like, I said, bro, no, just talk. We talk now. Now explanation I just give you when you say I won't fight on you. At this point, it was taking a couple of steps towards me, and I was standing like right in front of the gate. So I was moving backwards to the gate, and the next thing he just brought his hands, and I'm like, Shay, you they whine me. You feel me? Because at that point, man, this is a guy who is about 6'3" or even more. He's a professional boxer. He's a professional security guy. And I'm just a hype man. Come on. I might look big on every way that I look right now, but I'm not a professional boxer. Neither am I a professional security personnel and all that. So I was like, man, this is really serious. And I let it go the first time. As he threw his punches, I threw mine. And of course my hands are shorter. But apparently they weigh a lot more though. But so we threw hands and of course he went away. And in that moment, that day, we just employed like the new security. The previous ones had just ended the previous time. So that day was a start for the new set of securities there. So as much as I went from 0 to 100, I went back to 0 real quick when he left. So I went straight up to the security. I was like, this is not how it goes down here, right? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you had to witness this. The security, they could relate, because I wasn't.
Let's move on from that.
Okay.
Because if this was a podcast, like we can
go, into all the details,
The bigger picture had Wizkid in it, right?
Yeah, he did.
Did that affect your career in any way because you hit Wizkid's bouncer, who also happens to actually be a bouncer for?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It bounced for like a lot of people.
What's your relationship with Wizkid right now? Because obviously he's not an issue. He's not important in this. Like what's your relationship with him?
He is important in this issue because at the end of the day he will be brought to the table. There's nobody who is off the table right now. He's Wizkid's bouncer, and
he's still Wizkid's bouncer.
He's still Wizkid's bouncer. And in that moment he was representing Wiz, and I don't have a problem with Wiz. Neither do I have a problem with any other person. That's why I mentioned from start that it was an altercation between two people. It was just me and him, but he just came at me wrongly, and I wasn't taking that.
So Wizkid took this personally.
Well, I haven't heard from him, but from the reaction because we've been to court a couple of times, even though we have decided to settle out of court, but from his reaction.
Been to court for what? Assault?
That's what he said. They're assaulting him.
How does somebody? You're like how tall are you? You're like.
I'm like 6.
You're like 6. He's like 6'3". He's taller. How does somebody that big, somebody bigger than you, taller than you, how does he take you to court for assault? I would be embarrassed if I was him.
When we got to court, he now started telling lies. He said, I threatened to shoot him. I threatened I was going to do things to him. How would I threaten to do things to you? For God's sake, you're a married man with 2 kids.
But anybody can threaten anybody.
No, but for real, I hope to get married someday. I hope to settle down. I hope to raise my kid in a very prim and proper way. And that is not the kind of example I want to be setting for anybody out there, especially anybody coming after me.
So you guys are settling out of court now?
Yes, we are.
As I said, bigger picture, your relationship with Wizkid, is it going to affect you as a hype man anytime soon? Because Wizkid is big, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
And is it going to be a situation where there will be jobs that Wizkid might have in Nigerian Palins' mouth and say, no, do not give him that job? Has that been happening, or do you see the possibility of that being a possibility?
Even Wiz himself wouldn't come out and say that I said that this guy shouldn't have this job. He would just
of course he would. He has.
thing.
Do you think it's been happening?
I think that scenario has caused a change for me personally, and as regards to my job, it has actually caused a huge change. You know, personally, I've learned a lot of lessons, which one of them in particular is to be more patient and very, 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 very extremely careful. You know, because that was an issue that it escalated rather very quickly.
It made you grow up.
It made me exactly.
It made
me grow to a very reasonable extent, you know. And yes, it has affected my job. It has affected me like, whew, I mean, it's Wizkid.
Starboy himself.
I mean, it might look like a pendant, but he's Wizkid.
That's evil. That's
Babala.
evil. We get back to the music. Manolo Spanky. When we come back, we'll be talking about because you'll still get through. I want to find out how you eventually broke through. I confess that I saw you guys as noisemakers. I still see you guys as I see you guys as rich noisemakers. Because as I said, there are lots of people listening. This show has a large following from young men, and how you broke that barrier. How it went from why are we paying this noisemaker all that money? Then a particular brand says, let's endorse this noisemaker. We make noise right here on the Hip Pride, CT 1051 FM, your number one lifestyle station. Nobody does it better. It's still the way back Wednesday edition of the show. Follow at City 1051. In case you have any questions to ask, there's tweet at City 1051. Manolo in the building. Kuva Davies in the building.
You know what it is.
DJ Crazy.
DJ Crazy.
Nobody does it better. My name's Kshow Maestro. How you doing, Lagos Nigeria?
City 1051 FM.
City 1051 FM. The song is called Busybodies from P Square. When they were P Square. And you don't need to be a busybody to know that they're no longer together. And it's really sad because it's like they're both upcoming artists. You see what I did there? DJ Crazy still has the music locked down. Way back Wednesday edition of the Hip Hop Pride. My name's Kshow the Maestro. Don't forget Manolo in the building. Mr. Davis in the building. And Shaya Banks has just joined us. Don't forget Shaya is from a rival station, but we tolerate him.
I see what you did there, Kshow.
You had better be. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What award did you win?
I won the OAP of the Year award. I mean,
who did
I hope you saw what I did there.
I didn't see nothing.
Okay, but
because Cream Awards is enough for you young ones. It's for the young ones, huh?
It's an all youth award.
Exactly,
and all youth at heart award as well. So
I think I hear you. Because it's only young people that they nominated, so I don't have a problem with
young
that.
people that wear t-shirts too. So see what I did there?
I didn't see anything. Shaya Banks in the building, OAP extraordinaire. Also,
it's good to be here.
Good to have all of you guys in the studio. Manolo, Shaya is pushing a song also. It's called Lamba.
Yeah.
And
great video.
Yeah,
yes,
thank you very much.
Yes, but I'm thinking that the video didn't show you enough, and there wasn't that much dancing.
Yeah,
you didn't dance, nah?
Yeah. I didn't really dance much. Initially, I wasn't supposed to be in the video at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the video guy just called me up like, "Yo, let's go to Abeokuta one Sunday morning," and then I just zoomed off for my guys. Shot the video, just put me in the scene. And I mean, it was just really about the vibes, just trying to get the content out there, and there's always going to be more. In fact, I'm dropping another song in a few days, so we're ready. We're
okay. Actually, I think you played like 3 or 4 songs for me at Good Girl LA's listing. And
so
now we're talking about the industry and how toxic it can be and all. Shaya is one of those people that Shaya. Is there anybody that doesn't like you?
People don't like me, but I like people.
I know. Who are the people that don't like you?
In the industry, particularly, I can't name names, but I know that they've come to like me, whether they like it or not.
No, they like you because you're Shaya Banks and the platform that you bring.
I mean, it's the same for Manolo as well.
There's
some people that actually don't like you too.
No, we're going to talk about.
They've come to like you because
a lot of people
you're forced to reckon with.
No,
right?
There's a difference between liking him and learning that they have to he's there to stay. There's a difference to this. I'm sure you know that. You're here because I like you, Shaya. Not because do you understand what I mean? Not because you're you're Shaya Banks, but it's because I like you. I can still say I don't want you around here.
I get that.
That part.
Yeah, definitely. I said it. So the thing is, how because that's why I didn't want Shaya here. Manolo.
Yeah, talk to me.
When did it get to that stage for you that you felt that people stopped seeing you as a noisemaker, stopped seeing you as and they started seeing you as this brand? I can mess with this brand. I would use the effort. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't because I'm on radio. We can work with this brand. At what stage do you think you crossed that line?
No,
Like,
for me, it's like when I started hyping at the beginning, at the early stage. So I'm saying like, because we were doing some numbers some days ago, and we're looking at over 10 years now. Like
you're getting old, man.
I'm 30. I was 30 in April.
You're
So
old. Once you get to
I'm
3, you're
I'm
old.
an old man.
Yeah, Shaya's
So-
young.
Yeah.
So
Young forever.
so
It's what we all say.
So years ago, it used to be at the early stage, like when I started doing like the clubs. The hyping for clubs, because I started at the clubs. So for hyping at the clubs, they didn't really get used to it so fast. So you could see.
I still haven't got used to it.
Okay, but now it's there, like you say. So
I hate you guys.
So you.
And we love
I can remember.
We love you
I can
still.
remember very well that back in those days, you see some guys and they'll look at you like, what's this guy doing? Like this thing, not like now. Like now, you can't look at me and say what I'm doing, man. I'm wearing. You don't want to look at me, man. I'm wearing everything. I'm wearing is good stuff, man. You see how I look. So
You come through correct.
Yeah, I come through correct. So even if you don't like, if you see me, you be like, okay, this guy maybe he's just a celebrity or something. So, but at that time, I remember vividly well that you look at people and be like, dude, look at you. You don't say to you, be like, I think this guy did do safe. This guy, but gradually, after some time, I'll say, like I always say, from when
You're no longer at Industry Night.
I'm still with Industry.
You're still with
Night.
Industry Night.
Industry Night is my family.
But are you ever there? Because you're never really in Lagos. I'm surprised that you could keep this appointment.
Yeah, I'm still with Industry Night. I can't do all the shows, but I'm still with Industry Night because of my schedule. I can't do all the shows, but I'm still with Industry Night. Matthew Rio is my godfather. He really gave me, that opportunity that took me from one level to another level. And like I told you that time when we started, people used to come to Industry Night and look and say, how long are these guys going to keep up doing this?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? This thing real, like in your face, like they'll look at you, this guy cannot wear clothes this guy will not be able to buff up for.
I never put it in your face. I just didn't like you before.
Like,
I did. I also felt that way.
This guy will not be able to come through, but it's we've been able to come through. We're here. The industry is large. You see what Kshow did for the hype man. I don't know if you've seen the magazine. I brought a copy here because I really
So I saw it. Kshow is my
because I
friend.
really appreciate Kshow.
He dropped it. He
Very
dropped
well.
my copy a couple of days ago.
You see what he did. Shaya is on this as well. I'm here. A couple of other people are not here, but not
Okay, not like that. I get that.
Not to throw anybody off the bus, but my point is time and work and time. Like I say, it's always time and work. If you're gonna work and you put in the time, people will recognize you.
Kuva.
And to buttress, buttress to what he said, I kind of do agree that some people will not understand. I've been doing this for like 5 years now. I started doing radio way longer before then, and then when I got the opportunity to start hyping, I took it, right? And to be honest with you, some people will still say, even till this day, be like, why are these guys making noise at some functions? For instance, when you're new to an environment, for instance, when you're new to a place, because I did a show one time in some outside Lagos area. I don't even want to give them, because it was a bad experience for me. So they didn't get it at first. So they were like, what were you doing? What are you doing? So for some people, it's new to them. So they probably will not value it. There are some shows, even today, they'll rather pay an MC 1.5 million and pay a hype man 200 or 100,000 or 50K.
Well, people like myself that usually are in the position of the MCs, we still have a problem with you people.
See what I'm saying?
So I understand what you're saying.
And to be honest, we actually do sometimes. I'm no discredit to MCs. I'm an MC as well, but the hype man put in more work in trying to make sure that a party is a rave and a party is alive as well. And it's just pure facts.
Let's switch to Kuva. Kuva, you're a bit of someone that is on a shorter leash than other people. How have you coped with you've hyped events where the people at the club were not exactly that receptive of you, and this same thing that Kshow and Manolo were talking about, like they're looking at you like, what is he doing? How do you cope?
Well,
how do you cope when you're throwing all that energy, all that you're throwing all that out there, and they're just people that are looking at you like, why is he here? Can he just shut up and we continue with, how do you guys cope?
Well, I like to think that when you have expectations, you give room for disappointment, right? All I do is I just go in and give my best every other time, 100. It's either it's a room packed full of people or it's an empty space. I'm giving it 100. You need to see me in my own space. I'm doing it like I'm in front of you. I'm in front of a huge crowd. I'm in front of a stadium. It's the same energy. Do you understand? Maybe not the same movement, but it's the same energy. So it might not reciprocate, right? But it is absolutely the same energy. So whether you like it or not, I keep it in your face. I keep doing my work. I keep minding my business. I keep improving. I keep improvising. Do you understand? My horizons get broadened every other time. I bring you new stuff. I keep it up. Do you understand? My game is 100 every other time.
So it's just about keeping it 100. Just keep doing your thing.
That's what matters at the end of the day. Because it's gonna count.
But we're all human beings. Kshow, you're not at a level. But once in a while, do you still get on stage and you're hyping stuff and and maybe the reaction, at least the initial reaction, you're like,
to be honest,
and it just gets you like, like I'm not being appreciated.
So I feel like sometimes it's just like an artist. There are times recently Drake was booed on stage.
Yeah, I think that was at the weekend.
Yesterday,
It was 2 days ago, right? At Tyler the Creator's show. And sometimes we have our moments. There are times where the crowd is not really digging what you're doing, and sometimes you need to know the vibe you come on stage with. So for instance, if the crowd or the audience is maybe the elderly ones, the chilled ones, where they just want to buy 10 crates or they want to buy 5 bottles of so and just want to puff pass, you need to know how to approach the energy with. I was at Niniola's gig the other day. I knew the audience I was going to see, so I knew how I was going to come out on stage. I need to come out with so much energy. So if I'm coming on as a hype man to the setting of Pop Pass, where they are just big men with one pack sitting down, I come in with pure vibes. I just come in with that energy, and I take it from a 0 to 100.
Who smokes here? Who drinks here?
Yo.
Okay, I know Manolo. I know Manolo was on.
See, these brands.
Okay.
That yo, I smoke. And
Yeah?
That's what it is, man.
Okay.
I know. That's.
Manolo smokes and drinks. I know that. And because I'm not going to talk about brands because you're. Same. Kshow doesn't drink and doesn't smoke. I don't like people like Kshow.
Kshow, you don't drink?
Nah, I occasionally, but I really don't drink.
Okay.
Yeah, Kshow doesn't drink. I think we're at Good Girl. We're seated together at Good Girl LA's party. It was irritating. It was him and DJ Crazy. It was Kshow and DJ Crazy that were beside me.
And you, yeah.
I drink.
And you, yeah. Oh.
No, but I don't smoke.
No, I
don't
smoke.
smoke. Never smoke,
But
never
drink.
will. I drink. But these two animals, Kshow and DJ Crazy, don't drink. It was an embarrassing a table.
I mean, but there's a thing they say about men that don't drink and don't smoke.
Yeah, you're a woman. There's a girl.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a girl that was telling me about Kshow.
Wait, it don't cast reach that level.
There was a girl that was telling me. I think the last time you were my show, and the girl was like, once she messaged her, well, fine girl, fine girl, fine girl. It's a normal thing. You like women because you don't drink or you don't smoke.
Wow.
Let's get to this. Manolo, who's your favorite Nigerian artist right now? Don't worry, Shay, it's okay. It doesn't deter them.
For me, is who am I listening to?
Which Nigerian artist are you listening? Which Nigerian artist at the moment would you say that epitomizes what you would want the world to see the average Nigerian or the ultimate Nigerian artist as? That artist that there's a lot of hype about, around lots of artists there, but what is it that that's about that particular artist that you think that what?
Ask me what am I listening to?
Okay, yeah.
Just ask me who I'm listening to. Please, it's your show. Don't put me in that spot.
It's my joy if I don't know.
Please.
It'd be like
I'm
not
listening
doing my
to
work.
Naira Marley.
Malians come outside the rest.
I'm listening to Naira Marley.
X.
I'm listening to Zlatan. At the moment, I'm listening to Zlatan. Of course, my brother just dropped his music, and I'm listening to that as well. YC. I'm listening to a lot of Burna Boy. You can't go anywhere without hearing Davido. Good Girl LA.
That's music.
No, but I listen to. For me, I like music so much. I listen to everything. So I'm listening to. There are some of them I don't even listen to at home. I just know where to go and listen to them, and that's where
the type of music that you say you're listening to, is it usually, like because of what you do as a hype man, like you love, because you talked about I'm a big fan of Naira Marley. I think it's a bit. I'm not really feeling his energy lately. He just dropped another song which Casey was playing for me. And I'm like, we were laughing at it. I think Naira Marley has dropped 2 of the most creative videos this year. That's Am I Your Boy and the Soapy. I think those are amazing videos. Those are amazing. I hate that dance. All you people that can dance can do that. I hate the dance, but I totally love the song. Would you say that your reputation as a hype man, or you as a hype man, it affects how you view music? Does it limit you? Is this the type of music that when you're in bed and you're trying to sleep, are you going to be playing Naira Marley?
No. I'll be straight with you. I'm not going to be listening to Naira Marley when I'm in my space. But I'll vibe with Naira Marley. Like, that's what everyone is listening to. That's the sound those guys have. But when I'm chilling, I'm in my zone.
Nigerian artist.
When I'm chilling in my zone, oh come on, I'd listen to Burna. I listen to Good Girl Early. She's good. I'm
a big fan. Come on.
She's amazing. I listen to YC because but YC's got a bit of different kind of sound as well. But I listen to YC. I listen to who else? There's so many artists.
Kuva, who you messing with right now? Nigerian artists. Your ultimate, the artist that you would want to throw out there, like, this represents Nigeria. This is ultimate Nigerian artist. Not the one that you want to hype to their music at the club, as in your space, as it said.
Particularly, I'd say Burna. I'd say Burna because, Burna has kept it consistent from when he started. He started on his own lane. He started his own sound. And he has been able to keep up with that till now, that is globally accepted.
Funny enough, I had DJ Spinall here, and we had a little argument over Burna Boy. You're saying he's been consistent from way back, and I also feel that way. DJ Spinall feels that Nigerians started celebrating Burna when it dropped. When he made what's another video with the white girl. And I think I'm quoting. I think I'm trying to quote him like almost word for word. What's the name of that song? Heaven's Gate.
Oh, Lily Allen.
Heaven's Gate. And that's what he feels. And I'm like,
I don't agree.
And I'm like, Burna has been consistent.
No, I don't agree.
Burna has been.
Burna's been dropping some.
Maybe that was like the entrance to the global market.
That was the gate.
Maybe that was it. But Burna has, Burna Boy.
I don't agree with that.
Burna
Boy's got good records.
Neither did I. Shaya, that ultimate Nigerian artist for you, like.
I don't have one per se. I think for me, at this point, I'm trying to really, because there's a lot of Nigerian music out there, I'm trying to really study Speed Darlington and understand the kind of music he makes.
I don't even think Speed Darlington understands the type of music.
Okay, he's dropping a new song with Zlatan very soon. By the way, I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, so we're waiting for that. But
I don't.
For me,
I don't understand their love.
He's selling the iPhone, right?
Nah, bro.
What do you mean by he's selling that?
No,
no longer
he's getting another iPhone and some money on top of that.
Yeah, that's nice.
But the truth is, okay, for real though, I'm listening to the new cats because I like to put new cats on. So I'm really, this year was a good year for Fireboy, Joe Boy, Rema, and I think Oxlade was in the UK recently alongside these guys, and they didn't plan it. They didn't think they were going to be performing at the O2 in 2019. Absolutely. They had a good year and Good Girl LA, you know. So I'm loving the music right now, and I'm just looking to see more cats emerge in 2020 because that's the vision, right? See what I did there?
I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing. Shall stop listening to my show? I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. My eyes are. I've had a long day. I have my tan dust got in my eye, so I can't see anything. Let's try and round this up, guys. What's the next step, Davies? What's the next step apart from being a hype man? Apart from chasing those endorsements and all, you're trying to copy your own beer brand, your own liquor brand, like Manolo has. What's the next step for you?
Well, I have a fashion brand. It's Keda Fiari, you know, and that's like the next thing for me.
City 1051 FM.